We have seen that Brian Shaw is already taking a deep dive into the pool of arm wrestling. But recently, Kirill Sarychev asked Hafthor Bjornsson, who is another world's strongest man just like Brian Shaw, if he's interested in arm wrestling as a career in the future. And he was also asked about the first instance when he met Devon Larratt in 2016. But before we discuss that, let's talk about the topics which we are going to discuss in this video. Auden Larratt's statement about his future. Then Hafthor Bjornsson about arm wrestling. And finally, Engin Terzi has sold a part of East vs West, or maybe it's a partnership, but what's the deal? Who is the new partner which he found? Let's start. So Auden, just like the past couple of times, one more time acknowledged the strength of Korean Hulk. He said that he was really strong. It may not have looked like that way, but he can tell from experience that the Korean Hulk is not weak. And he himself admitted that after seeing the practice pulls with Risto Daliljakov, with Coach Ray, and even Nugo Shikadze, he was really impressed with the strength of the Korean Hulk. He knows fully that practice pulls cannot be taken completely seriously, but they do tell us a story. And the story which these practice pulls told really impressed Auden Larratt and many other fans as well. As far as the competition goes, he is not sure of the super match opponents because he wants to rest his body and also his mind at this time. But he said that he may compete in the Ottawa Open, a tournament, and he's thinking about something in December. This is all he mentioned. We know that King of the Table 13 is in December in USA. So is Auden going to compete there? If he is, then can we guess the opponent which he may be facing? I think it's kind of difficult because Devon and Auden came up with the name Korean Hulk that not in a million years anybody could have guessed. So maybe this time it can be the same. Hafthor Bjornsson was asked about the first time he met Devon Larratt in 2016, and that question came from Kirill Sarychev from an interview on Kirill's channel. From his own words, it didn't seem as if Hafthor was unaware that Devon is a high-level arm wrestler, but he still thought that Devon is just looking like a skinny guy who he should probably be able to deal with. So why not try to arm wrestle with him? And after that, we saw what happened. Because keep in mind that that was back in 2016 when arm wrestling and especially the arm wrestlers were kind of relatively unknown to the outer audience. Maybe John Brzezinski was famous at that time, maybe Denis Siplenkov. Devon probably wasn't that famous back then because he just started a YouTube channel a couple of years ago, and this was his first viral clip after he arm wrestled Hafthor Bjornsson. And that was also the time when majority of the audience thought that you should have your hand tucked behind your back while you're arm wrestling, you shouldn't be leaning towards the left, you shouldn't be curling your wrist in. All of these things were either considered cheating or just a part of a technique, and people used to say that arm wrestlers are not really strong, either they are cheating or they have superior technique. That's all. And you can clearly understand from what Hafthor mentioned that he also maybe partly used to believe these things. But after getting beat by Devon Larratt, he kind of learned that arm wrestling is a lot more than what he initially thought. And the arm wrestlers, although they are strong, but they also have a lot of technique as well. I think after 2016, the first time we saw him arm wrestle again was against Larry Wheels around 5.5 years ago. Around that time, both Larry and Hafthor were beginners, so they were extremely close in that practice pull, and it looked like Hafthor may have had more endurance than Larry. So they both were kind of equal. So this may show us that Hafthor may have at least as much potential as Larry Wheels. But around 3.5 years ago, when Hafthor was preparing for boxing, I guess, because he looked light in that practice pull, and Larry was at a good level. At that time, the practice pull looked completely one-sided and Larry was playing with Hafthor like a beginner. So we don't really know if Hafthor can get to a serious level even if he trains a lot for arm wrestling. But it will be interesting to see. I didn't know how technical arm wrestling was until I tried. Then Kirill asked if he plans on competing in arm wrestling in the future. The clear, fast answer was a no. He said that not right now, definitely, but I cannot say no forever because you don't know. The things may change, his mindset may change, anything can happen. But one thing is for sure, that he wouldn't start arm wrestling until he's kind of done with strongman competition. And that wouldn't happen anytime before he's at least 40 years old. Right now he's almost 36, so we're talking about at least 4 to 5 years from now. But if Hafthor had any kind of interest in arm wrestling as of now, then I would have said that him versus Eddie Hall would have been a better match than Brian Shaw versus Eddie Hall. Hafthor Bjornsson may not have the grip strength of Brian Shaw, but physically he's the same dude. Same structure, same height, same weight, and same strength as well. So if Brian can try it, then maybe he can too. But as of now, Brian seems to be more suited for arm wrestling than Hafthor Bjornsson. Yesterday, Engin uploaded a video titled East vs West Business Partner. So Engin has been talking about selling East vs West, or at least a part of it, for almost a year now, maybe more than a year. And the new business partner is a former Masters WAF World Champion, Robert Baxter. We have seen Robert compete at East vs West as well, and Engin knows him for more than a decade. This is what Engin said about Robert Baxter. One of the few people that I would close my eyes and trust. I feel very comfortable about this decision, and I cannot imagine anyone better than Robert because I know him personally. So Engin mentioned that Robert will be doing all of the business related stuff around East versus West. I'm not sure if Engin sold a percentage of the business, or if he will be sharing a percentage of the profits, or if he'll be sharing the percentage of the revenues. If some of you are knowledgeable about this companies and accounts stuff, tell me what's the exact definition of a business partner, or can it be different for different people, or is Engin even using the right vocabulary here? But anyways, it wouldn't matter too much for us arm wrestling fans as long as we get to see good matches at a good price, which East vs West is definitely delivering as of now. About a year or so ago, I saw a post on social media about who's the richest arm wrestler, and everyone was throwing around the name Robert Baxter. I didn't know him around that time. Obviously, I saw him compete at East vs West. I think that was more than a year ago. But if you're also wondering what he does, then this is from his social media, from his Facebook. Co-founder and chairman at 5-Star North America. Own and operate Five Guys Burgers and Fries and Blaze Pizza in most of Canada. Co-founder, director at Olympus Capital. So I hope he does a great job with East vs West business stuff, and for sure Engin will be relieved from a lot of headache. Hopefully he won't be banning any people in the future from his chat, because while doing such a tough job, he must get tired, he must get irritated. That's just normal behavior. None of us have tried to organize anything at the level of East vs West ever in our lives. So we will see a calmer Engin Terzi in the future hopefully, and I hope he still makes more money than what he's already doing. Thanks for watching, like the video and subscribe.